Hello, and welcome to Hon Hon Croissant. Alright, I've tried to do that like 15 times and I can't help but laugh, so we're just gonna go with it. It's been a minute since I've made one of these. And full disclosure, I'm cheating a little bit today because I made this recipe for Thanksgiving, so I've done it before. But if I fail, it's gonna be doubly embarrassing, so there is that. I apologize, I'm not gonna do the 3 intros today. It's early, and I was lazy, and I didn't want to look up a new Southern expression, so we might skip that in the future. Okay, but yeah, today we're going to make croissants, and so the first time I did this, I didn't really read the recipe, I just was like, I have some yeast left over, I'm gonna make croissants for Thanksgiving. And it turns out this takes like 10 hours to make. The actual website that like claims to be a French recipe and is the one I follow does this over the course of 3 days, but we're not gonna do that. Oh yeah, and don't let the long time frame, the 10 hours or 3 days, whatever, scare you. Most of that is spent just putting things in the refrigerator and leaving it alone for hours at a time. The recipe itself wasn't that bad. I think more than anything, we just have to keep stuff cold. But yeah. So let's, I guess, get started. I am going to be doing everything in mass units today, grams specifically. I've got a nice scale here to help out. If you don't have that and you still want to make this recipe, everything can be converted on the Googles, and I think I actually have a second recipe that does things in cup measurement, so I'll put everything below. Oh, and my scale is currently in pounds, which would be a disaster because I don't have 500 pounds of flour. But anyway, yeah, first steps are simple. We just have to mix, I just shot flour into my coffee. We have to mix all of the dough ingredients together. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we'll spill things. Okay. First thing, 500 grams of flour, and that is just over a pound of flour. Okay, 1 cup that time was 165 grams. Oh, 502, crap. It's over, it's ruined. Okay, and we need 140 grams of water. Oh shoot. That's 146 grams. Now we need also 140 grams of whole milk. All right, I didn't zero it. So I'm just gonna go to 280. So we'll have a little bit more water than we have milk. Oh, 281. Oh hey, never mind, I went back to 280, we're fine. 55 grams of sugar, and I'm gonna remember to zero it this time. Okay, that was only 5, so I'm gonna do a bigger scoop. 52, 56, dang it. 40 grams of soft, unsalted butter. Okay, so this is kind of an important thing. I think, they didn't tell me it was important, but I think it's important. So I love this butter. It's Irish butter, and it has a higher fat content than other butters. If you look at the serving facts, there's like 12 grams of butter per tablespoon versus 11 for like Walmart butter. They have the same amount of calories somehow, so I think Big Dairy, there's a conspiracy theory there. But anyway, the reason I like this butter is because with the higher fat content, it spreads while still cold. Like I can squeeze it right now and it like deforms. It's not rock solid. And that's really gonna make a difference for what we're gonna have to do in a minute after I finish this. But anyway. I just need 40 grams of it right now. 40, perfect. Finally. If a Southerner was ever gonna get anything right, it was the butter. Now we need 11 grams of instant yeast and salt. Okay, each pack is 21 grams. So we need basically like half a pack, which is unfortunate because I'm gonna have to throw our little biological friends. I guess all of our friends are biological. But I'm gonna have to throw some of them in the trash. So I hope that they're able to find something to ferment in their new home. Which, I don't know, maybe that's a better fate than the ones that are gonna give rise to our bread and be thrown in a 400-degree oven. Who knows? Okay, this time's only 21 and this is telling me that was 2? I think my scale is incorrect. Wait, did I read this wrong? Oh no. Oh, 3 packets is 21 grams. Okay. Okay, that makes way more sense. Maybe I messed up last time. So I I think we need 2 packs of yeast instead of half of 1 pack. Okay, that's 11. Let's make sure it's not rounding down. And the last thing I need is 12 grams of salt. Hey, how come the introvert and the croissant were friends? Because the croissants were so flaky. 12, perfect, boom. Okay, and that is essentially our dough made. Set that aside. Thank you, Mr. Scale, you've done well. I'm making sure I didn't miss anything. Combine for 5 minutes. Okay, that's what I'm gonna be doing. Let's plop this out. So, we don't wanna develop a ton of gluten. I don't really know why. I don't know why you make a lot of gluten sometimes and don't make a lot of gluten other times. I just do what the internet tells me to. I'm gonna need for, wait, I guess I need to mix this better. That was definitely a butter chunk. Okay. Just do some folding. Hope that my extra 3 grams of flour doesn't ruin everything. The French website did tell me I was going to fail the first time. I would just like to point out that the French website was wrong. So, okay, this is super nice. It feels a little bit like Play-Doh, but better because it's edible. I guess Play-Doh is edible. Most things are edible at least once. Some of them only once, though. I'm already tired. The thing is, when you do everything by it, you really earn the croissants at the end. I feel like I've burned off at least 4 of them. That's what I'm gonna tell myself, at least, when I eat 4 of them tonight. Okay. Whew. 7 minutes of vigorous dough kneading. We've developed some nice gluten. We've stretched out some proteins. Now we gotta form this into a ball and then shape it into a disc by slapping it. 1 for good measure. Now we just need to cover it and then that goes in the refrigerator. All right, I'm gonna wrap that up and this stays in there for 30 minutes. Okay, while that is in the refrigerator, now we need to, oh shoot. Okay, I did need the scale again and probably my bucket, my bowl's the word, that I put in the sink. So now, this is the other important part of croissant. So with a croissant, we have those nice flaky layers, and to do that, we're going to layer butter inside the dough. So first thing is we need 200 grams of cold, unsalted butter. Oh no. 198. 202. Okay, we're gonna go with 202. All right, cool. So now we have that. Okay, so what I did last time is I cut each one of these sticks in half, and we have to use this butter to make a, how much? 7 by 10 inch slab, and then put it back in the refrigerator. This will be fine. We'll do some smashing. Okay, I found a rolling pin. Now we just need to smash this down and get it to the right size. And the butter is cold, but we kind of want it to form like a cohesive layer and kind of stick together. So it's okay to be rude to it and bend it to your will. That's totally fine. It's so messy. This is not going as well as it did last time. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're almost there. And there we go. Butter rectangle. It melted a little bit, but that's okay. It can't melt later. But right now, if it melts a little, that's fine. But then this guy also goes in the refrigerator. Okay, so this is the first time. All of that needs to sit in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes and get super cold before we can start putting everything together and rolling out our croissant. So I will probably have some more coffee and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I got my dough. I lied. It has been longer than 30 minutes. I read my instructions wrong. Time doesn't matter so much. The French recipe, when they do this, they leave it overnight. There's another recipe that I have that recommends 4 hours. I've done an hour and a half. The most important thing is that the dough is really cold because we have to keep the butter from melting. If the butter melts and joins the dough, then we don't get those nice croissant layers. So I'm gonna hope that this hour and a half is good enough because I was ready to do the next step. But anyway, I'm going to flour my rolling pin and then, ooh, I made a mess. Sorry, Mom. We're gonna roll this out into a square. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna need that later. Go over there. Please don't catch on fire with that candle. Everything's fine. We don't want to touch the dough a ton because we do need to keep it really, really cold. But we just want to get this into a nice square. That's how big? I don't know. I didn't write that down. It needs to be much bigger than our butter though because we have to fold it up around. So we'll find out how big it ends up being and then call that good. Okay, let's see if that's good. I'm gonna grab the butter. I think this will be big enough. I'm not gonna touch the butter so that I can keep it as cold as possible. I'm gonna touch the butter a little bit. So we'll set it down at a 45-degree angle, just kind of in the center. And then we want to bring up the corners. So we'll make a little dough pocket and then we'll seal it. And so now we have our little rectangle envelope of dough. Flip this and roll from this side. And we want to roll this out to be about 2 feet long, trying to keep it in a rectangular shape. I have nice square edges now. The rectangle is important too because at the end we're gonna cut it into triangles. All right, I'm assuming this is about 1 foot long. So that's our 2 feet. That's the first time. Now we're gonna fold it like an envelope. And so you make this nice little 3-layer thing. We put it back in the refrigerator for 30 minutes because again, we want it to be super cold. So we'll wrap it and I'll put this in the refrigerator and I'll be back. Okay, back again. We have to do the rolling and folding one more time. So this time when we do it, we folded it like an envelope last time. We want to make sure that those folds are like going this way and we're gonna roll it out this way, but it's the exact same as last time where we just push it out into a 2 foot long rectangle, trying not to add a ton of width to it. All right, let's see. All right, that's it. Roughly 2 feet long. Fold like an envelope again. And then this goes in here, gets wrapped, goes back in the refrigerator for another 30 minutes, and we have to do this one more time. So I'll be back then. All right, I'm back. I've had my first costume change. I still haven't made it into real pants yet. But we gotta roll this out one more time, do one more envelope folding, and then we'll be ready to cut it into triangles. I want to make sure we're not like making it overly wide. It is noticeably more difficult to roll out this time, and I don't remember if that was true last time or not. I'm gonna spin this and try to push it in the other direction as well. Okay, I think we've hit the 2 foot mark. We'll do a few more rolls for good measure. But I think we're there. We'll do a fold. Do our folds, and then this goes back in the refrigerator. This time we're gonna do a final chill, and it'll be like, I don't know, I'll leave it in there like an hour and a half or something. So I will be back in a bit. All right, so it has been another hour. We have folded our dough 3 times, and now we have to roll it out one final time. It's gotta be a meter long according to the French instructions. So that's like 3.5 feet. I don't have 3.5 feet, so I'm going to roll it out, kind of cut it in half, and then do each one of those. But yeah, so let's roll this guy out at least far enough that I can cut it in half. Hey, Daisy. I don't know if y'all can hear the little pitter patter of her paws. She just came in here and sat beside me and huffed at me. What do you want? Let's see, how long is this? So that's around 2 feet. So I'm gonna cut it in half right there. I'm gonna set that aside. Flip this over and then try to roll this out to be a little bit thinner. Okay, getting really close. How far is that? That's around 1.5 feet, which would be a little short. I don't know that I'm supposed to sprinkle flour on this. I'm just trying to keep it from sticking to my rolling pin. Like that. Yes, exactly. Thank you for that example, Doe. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one. So because we're making 15, we can do 3 cuts one side, 4 cuts the other. I have this random sheet of paper. That's gonna be too long. Yep, okay, that didn't work. What can I use as a tape measure? How many knives? So 2 knife lengths, okay. So right there is a cut, right there is a cut, and right there is a cut. And then on the other side, we wanna make triangles out of this, so we can't do it the same. So we need to make a quarter out of the first one, and then right there, 2, and then out here, and there we go. And then I'm going to grab the pizza roller because this is easiest, and then we'll just make some nice triangles. We'll have a little guy on the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, that was roughly half. So now we want to stretch these out. You can do this by hand or with the rolling pin. Either one, I think. So maybe we'll try both. But we gotta spread these out and get them from their current length almost to like 1 foot long, like that. And then you want to make a little cut in the end. And then roll them up into the classic croissant shape. And we don't want to roll them super tight, just kind of let them do their thing. Roll it all the way up and then bend the edges in. And then there we go. First little croissant. I'm gonna set that guy over here. Okay, same thing. Let me see if I can do this with the rolling pin. The French people recommended the rolling pin. That did work way better. Okay, same thing. Make the little cut, roll this guy up into the classic shape, and then we got 2. And then we just gotta do this a few more times, and then roll out the other dough. I think I could make that little end piece into a croissant, though. It'll be fine. They don't need to be pretty, they just need to taste good. It's like the most lopsided croissant ever. All right, now we got our other dough, and we gotta roll it out. All right, that looks pretty good. Oh, these look way better. This tray is gonna be much higher quality croissants. Oh, this one's perfect. Nice. Let's make a Frankenstein one. I don't know that this is gonna work. I'm gonna pinch that off. I knew we'd have a little bit of extra. There's enough dough here to do something with, so we might as well, right? Cut that in the middle. It's sticking together. Okay, that was just a tube. Alright, so we have our croissants. Set those out right there. And now we're gonna do an egg wash, and then we're gonna leave them alone for 2 hours or so. So I've got 1 teaspoon of water. and 1 egg. Take it, mix this together. All right, now I've got my brush, and I just want to take it and coat these guys with the egg wash. This little Franken cylinder here. That's fine. It has the layers. It'll take this one. This weird little croissant worm. The end pieces, I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do with them. I have 14 real croissants. 13 maybe, and then two just absolute failures. But if they taste the same, then who cares? Who cares what they look like? All right, cool. 15 egg wash croissants. I'm gonna clean and move these aside, and then we're gonna give our bacteria buddies time to work for a couple hours at least. They're supposed to prove at like 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit in a proving drawer, but I don't have that. It's like 68 in this room, so I might give them a little extra time. But when they're done rising, we're gonna egg wash them one more time, put them in the oven, and then we're done. So I will be back then. All right, I'm back, third outfit of the day. The croissants have gotten really puffy, which is great. So I'm going to do a final egg wash, and then we'll put these in the oven. So I did do 2 hours to prove these, by the way. They seem to have still puffed up really well, even though it was kind of chilly in here. But I did turn the oven on for the last like probably half hour of that. So it's definitely warmer in here than it was earlier. All right, cool. Egg wash is done. I am going to put these in the oven at 400 degrees for around 20 minutes. At 10 minutes, I'll take them out and rotate them just so to make sure they cook evenly. And I'm also gonna make some coffee so that when they're done, I can eat them. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, sorry, I messed up and took a picture instead of recording me taking these out of the oven, but they've sat here for a moment. They look fantastic. You can see some of them got darker. That's because they were on the bottom shelf, but then we have the ones like these that are just these perfect little buttery, flaky croissants. But my coffee's done, and I am going to try one and see how they taste. Oh, it's still really hot. Oh my gosh, they're so good. Pillsbury sucks. Yeah, so these take quite a long time to make just because of all the steps to like make sure things are cold. I started at like 9:30, 10 this morning, and it's 7 o'clock now. But you can break this up, like the French people break it up over 3 days. They make the first like dough step, and then leave it overnight, and then they do all the laminating and the folding and the layering, and then they leave that overnight, and then they roll it out and cut it into triangles and bake it. And so if you have like a weekend where you're gonna be around the house doing other stuff, but can take 5 minutes to come get something out of the refrigerator and roll it out and then fold it and put it back, I highly recommend making these because they taste absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'll put a picture at the end, and I'll see you guys next time.